What's good, everyone, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we're reacting to Film Theory. What is Disney's body count? Now that's an interesting one. I know death has been a thing involved with the whole Disney franchise. Some unnoticeable, some noticeable, to say the least, but yeah, I don't really think about that, so this is really gonna be the first ever, but probably one of the first ever body counts I ever seen of that involves Disney, actually. Just, yeah. So this is gonna be interesting. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button, be notified immediately when a new video comes out. Other than that, hope you all enjoy. Oh. Yeah, anyway, hope you all enjoy it. And let's start this video, shall we?
Back for more, eh? I thought you had had enough after all that princess nonsense.
You're right, Mickey.
Princess nonsense.
I may have already proven that you're a hypocrite cashing in on women's empowerment, but this time I'm out to go one step further.
I'm confused on that one.
To show the world that you're not just a money grubber, but also that you are one murderous mouse.
But we produce family-friendly movies, MatPat. Totally brand-friendly.
Tell that to the victims in your movies.
Oh, yeah? And how many people have I killed then, MatPat? 10? 20? A few hundred? A few thousand? How many, MatPat? How many victims are there in my movies? Calculate that one if you're so smart. I dare you!
Damn.
Hello, Internet. Welcome
The
to
mouse got
Film
insane.
Theory. Call us Detective Pikachu, because we're solving the mysteries you didn't ask about and might not.
It was a good movie.
Like our episode on Wall-E, where I talked about the fact that everyone
There was a few questionable things, but it was a good movie, in my opinion.
Those are good ones to catch up on with your hot cocoa during these lazy holidays. And hey, while everyone else is starting holidays early, I'm still gung-ho about giving you a present of Film Theory specific merch.
Nope. No. Okay. That should be it.
Strap in for a particularly stabby one today, and quite honestly over the next couple weeks, because I'm starting in on what's turning out to be one of the most monumental feats of my entire film theory career. I am dissecting every major Disney movie. That means every Disney animated film that's been in theaters since 1939.
Okay, not live action right there. That cut.
Once and for all, which
wait,
is
1930.
the deadliest of all the Disney movies? And if I can swing it, what is the overall total kill count for the entire Disney canon? And whew, boy, it is so
that's
something.
something.
Over the years, Disney movies, for all their cute talking animals, get surprisingly dark, and the characters are pretty darn good at killing one another, and in some really creative ways too. I mean,
not wrong.
Tarzan hanging himself with a vine, Oliver and Company's electrocution by subway track. Some of this stuff is better than the slasher movies that you see in Dead Meat's Kill Count series. I mean,
Oh, whoa. Now, hold on there. The kill count does not lie. Okay, so there have been, like, some stuff that has been missed that he has corrected, but still, the kill count was a really cool thing in my opinion. I'm a fan of it.
Movies only managed light emotional scarring. But when you start dealing with dragons, snow monsters, and very sharp sewing equipment,
okay,
to some serious collateral damage in a hurry. But just
not really.
Talking about. Well, it is way more than you'd think, especially considering that this lineup is all G or PG rated and intended for kids. But look rabbit and this rabbit. They're all the same animal across 3 different movies, but would you count them all in a death total if they died? One is the white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, one is Thumper from Bambi, and one is just, I guess, like one of Snow White's supportive woodland friends. They're all alive, they're all cute bunnies, but for the purposes of this theory, they don't all count. And this is where we have to lay ourselves some ground rules. Should we count the rabbit who carries a pocket watch because he's wearing people clothes?
I mean, I guess it would count if they was a supportive character, right? I mean, in Bambi, all the people are animals. So, I mean, all the characters are animals. So, yeah, I think that would count. Like Brother Bear, I think that would technically count. You have to count the animals because they're a part of the journey. There's a communication barrier that's there. And, they're also pretty alive, active. Yeah, so I guess they count.
Who defends Bambi in a time of crisis? For this theory, I drew the line around sentience versus non-sentience of the characters' deaths. One thing that's really obvious in Disney movies is that different species may or may not be sentient in any given movie. Usually humans, or at least humanoids, take the spotlight, but in movies like The Lion King, animals are the focus. They are clearly sentient, and most importantly for our purposes, they can speak. So let's just set the rule. If animals can speak, or if they act as intentionally driven characters, like Maleficent's pet raven Diablo, then they count in our overall death total. We also can extrapolate beyond the actions taken in the movie that we're watching. Did the colony established by John Smith eventually go on to kill thousands of natives in the 1995 Pocahontas? Yeah, absolutely, but that doesn't happen during the runtime of the movie because we can't have that hunky white guy lose, right? So he gets a pass, at least in this context. History would beg to differ. And finally, we can only count kills that are actually caused by the characters in the movie. For example, in Hercules, we can't count the actions taken off screen by Hades in his normal role as god of death, since he's just presiding over the people who are dying as usual. Instead, we can only count the actions he takes directly against Hercules and the other gods. Also guys, no sequels. There is nothing less satisfying than coming out at the end of one of these really long analyses only to find out that Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time, actually kills the most people, because it creates this time paradox that threatens to destroy Cinderella and her entire kingdom. That takes Ralph Breaks the Internet and Rescuers Down Under off the table. Yeah, just take my word for it, guys. We're all dodging a bullet by sticking only to the original in-theater releases. We're already covering 58 other movies. These are long episodes.
Yeah, I can see the point there. Because it's technically a continuation from the last movie, and that can be a headache to count. So yeah, I can see where you're going with this.
So maybe if you like this concept, we could do another tournament of the sequels, or Pixar movies, or whatever, just later. I need a Disney break after this one. So with our handy-dandy rulebook established, we're ready to face
Seen 58 movies, yeah.
At least in our Disney movies. Our first task is to carve up our 58 contender movies into more...
Okay, that was clever with the Mickey.
See who has a fighting chance, or should I say a dying chance, of claiming the ultimate title, Disney's Deadliest Movie. If you look across the spectrum from 1939 to today, you'll see that these movies fall into a few pretty distinct categories when it comes to death. You have no death movies, single or double death movies, low kill count movies, and then you have the really heavy hitters. There aren't too many mid-level death movies in Disney's canon, surprisingly. You're either all in on the murder, or you're not, and you're questionably family-friendly. Our job is to figure out who's in that last category, and then suss out who's the biggest offender from the last 80 years of filmography. Starting at the very beginning, there is a whole slew of movies in the Disney canon where the kill count is either 0 or
Dumbo,
really
Jungle Book.
Movies like Dumbo, The Jungle Book, Sword in the Stone, and 101 Dalmatians are all no-kill movies.
Really? Okay.
As are Robin Hood and the feature films of Winnie the Pooh. In our no-kill films, the antagonist is usually thwarted in some comedic way and then just kinda gives up their evil plot. Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians, car wreck and just gives up. Also, while we're talking about it, I'd be remiss if I didn't play this gem of a line from 101 Dalmatians.
Crazy woman driver.
It's great. Old school Disney was so inappropriate. Shere Khan from
True.
the Jungle Book, also, fire on tail, just gives up. Or, quite frankly, there's just not enough movie there to have time to kill anyone off. Man, a lot of these movies are a lot shorter than I remember. What's that one supposed to mean, you ask? Well, I'm talking about the Disney movies you probably haven't seen or even heard about from Disney's forgotten decade, the 1940s. The reason it's the forgotten decade is probably because
don't
in
remember
the
those.
1940s, a large portion of Disney's writing and animation staff were drafted into World War II, sometimes leaving their stories half done or half animated and making it necessary for whoever was left in the studio to cobble together a feature film from whatever was left. The movies that came out during this time kind of had plots. They had little to no dialogue and are sometimes even just repurposed pieces of animation that were left over from other movies while everyone else was out supporting the war effort. This is why so many of these no-kill movies are musical reviews.
Can't really fault them for that.
Live-action segments of Donald Duck sexually harassing women and totally uncomfortable race relations. It's interesting to note here too that the draft animators weren't trading in their pens for guns. They weren't out on the front lines fighting. They were actually still wielding their animator pencils. They were still developing films using the exact same skills they used at Disney, only now they were drafted into making propaganda films for the war effort. In fact, it's a really fascinating watch. Check out Victory Through Air Power, an official Disney release that outlines the history of air combat, which in and of itself is fascinating, but also was one of their first major propaganda films meant for public consumption. I just didn't include it in the overall kill count since, you know, it's World War II. There were a lot of deaths, but they were historically accurate deaths. It's just a fun fact that I came across while I was reading this episode and I thought you might enjoy, but it also explains why you don't see a lot of
was a bad war
or deaths during the films from this time period. It also makes you
and
look
it
at
was
propaganda films and Disney movies just a little
and
bit different.
it's a horrible thing to go about
for another day.
a war.
Regardless, for as short, boring, and culturally inappropriate as a lot of these might be, for this theory I'm digging up all the skeletons of the past and need to know whether anyone dies in Disney features like The Three Caballeros and Fun and Fancy Free. And holy shattered childhood. Some of these movies are shockingly brutal. While most of them do rack up 0 kills, you have yourself some horrific surprises, like Make Mine Music, where a whale whose only goal in life is to sing at the opera gets himself harpooned to death in a mistake and takes 4 sailors down in the process. Also, a wolf dies, so that one has a total of 6. Or you have Melody Time, where we see the story of Little Pete, who honestly should be renamed Big Body Count after his pranks decimate a giant tanker and an entire city block. That's a body count in the double, if not triple digits. Next, there's also a slew of movies where only the head villain gets the axe, or just the head villain and like 1 or 2 other people he kills during his first scene of the movie just to show how evil of a villain he is. In these cases, they've already shown themselves to be 100% irredeemable, so you don't have to feel badly about their gruesome, grotesque murder. Snow White, only the evil queen dies. Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent, and her underling Raven Diablo. Lady and the Tramp only kills
that's how it was
produced, yeah. It's a movie filled with sentient animals. The Rescuers have Medusa, who is just a recycled version of Cruella de Vil. The Great Mouse Detective has Ratigan, an underling, and 2 of his henchmen. And Peter Pan loses 2 pirates. Surprisingly, not Captain Hook, so yay! Despite the fact that there's still like dozens of other murderous pirates running around Neverland, and also killer mermaids, if you know the source material. Other notable mentions from this category with a smile. All your cares fly away right after her attempted murder. Like, I've heard of the power of positive feelings, but jeez, you might want to take a couple minutes and process what just happened to you, Snowy. Also, coming from the dishonorable mentions of this 60 movie spree, Fantasia 2000, which only has 1 death, a shockingly handsy Jack-in-the-Box, but also features the single most absurd moment in all of Disney animated canon.
Absurd.
A sequence of Donald Duck on board Noah's Ark. Like 2x2 animals, and then there's just Donald Duck. Noah literally It'll
Oh.
be out in just a few days. I know, it's a cliffhanger. You can murder me in the comments. It'll just add one more to that kill count. Ha ha! I am slaying myself over here. You see, now you want me to stop. So until next time, remember,
A bit, yeah.
that's just a theory.
That was a bit cringe.
Film theory. And cut.
Seriously. Stop with the whole slang jokes. It's not okay. Okay, so this was basically an introduction to everything. Introducing how the rules work, what truly counts, and going over the amount of films that are being used and which ones don't really fit into anything. But dang, from 41 to 17, that's something big. And therefore really consider it. But 17 films. Didn't really get a good look on the 17. All I knew was that Frozen was a part of it, Hercules is, The Lion King, and Mulan. And Moana. But yeah, that's a bit surprising to hear that. I guess when I was younger, I'd never really paid attention to that kind of detail. Guess it just means I'm gonna have to be more observational. I guess. So, yeah. Anyway, with that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Tell me what you think of this whole body count thing. I honestly never knew that Disney movies really had that much death in it. I mean, there was the death here and there, but honestly thought it was like 1 or 2 at most. Honestly, this is news to me. But tell me what you think about this in the comments section below. And honestly, if you ever thought before that there was actually death before you seen this video, whether you saw it before or not, tell me your opinion on that. Other than that, the link to this video will be down in the description below, so if you want to see it, go ahead and check out the description, and the video link is right there. But with that said, hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.